Yeah. Stream should be coming live. And pew! See if that teleported us over. Looks like it did.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah. Let's see real quick here if the stream is live. Just double checking if I can. Oh, and it is. Wonderful. Delightful. Making it happen. Cool. So, da, 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 da. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so as the dawn arises over the North Crossroads, you, Shmeeli, recall the events of the past few hours. You start to have a slightly fragmented memory of a really thrilling night that you had just recently, involving uh, rich food, perfectly cooked meats, lots of your favorite drinks, and some sort of like magical properties. As you're waking up today, you don't feel particularly hungover. In fact, you're feeling a little bit more of the fearless persuasion. You know that your compatriots have all been concealed around their various parts of the inn. Some of them may not have even awoken yet. But with this in mind, the day is yours to do with as you please. So, Shmeeli, what would you like to do?
Uh, Shmeeli definitely needs a drink and looks for the nearest, I guess, bartender, innkeeper, see if there's
Uh,
something available in the inn.
Indeed, give me a perception check. Start off. Big roll, big rolls.
See. Ooh.
6. Well, there we go. Fortunately, we're getting the rough rolls out of the way right now. So, as you take a quick look around, you're actually having a vaguely difficult time spotting the bartender here because it's just the menagerie of weird characters that are around. You're noticing, your handful of celestials sitting at the table next to you, looking contemplatively at their stew. You notice demonic ape and his posse of kind of like grumbling devils and demons sitting over there. There's also this weird frog-looking guy that keeps like grunting and scratching himself. You can't tell if he's like waiting for dinner or if like he's already eaten or if he's just giving you like a kind of casual glance around the room. But for all things considered, it's not really a bar, but there is definitely an innkeeper, and he's walking over towards you.
Hello there, nice to meet you. Are you one of the adventurers who's come to the inn? Thaddeus Dennison, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Mealy is the name.
Shmeeli is the name. Well, ale's my game, so what can I get you?
Ale sounds perfect.
Fantastic. I'm the proprietor of this establishment. We'll go ahead and get you properly taken care of here. Oi, chum!
And you go ahead and hear him bark an order, and another orc individual comes running around the tables. He's much smaller, kind of got one of those like awkward like Ren Fair bowl haircuts that you usually see on like the Page Boy or something like that. His teeth are a little bit smaller than Thaddeus, but up runs Chum Dennison, and Chum goes,
Oi, what can I get for you? Let's go ahead and get Shmeeli here an ale, and would you like something for breakfast, please?
Uh, of course. What is there?
We've got meats, we've got eggs, we've got spreck, we've got breck, we've got nosh, we've got a little bowl of milkweed, we've got spices. What interests ya?
Uh, meat, eggs.
Right, chum, get cooking. Right, Thaddeus.
And you see the little bull-headed orc sprint his way off to the back room where you hear the clanging of pots and the shifting of boxes. Thaddeus turns, cracks you a awkward orcan smile and says,
Taking it that you're new to the Northern Crossroads like your friends there. What's your manner of business that you've got in town?
Uh, looking for business. Exactly that.
Looking for business? Well. You're in a good town for it. Lots of business to be had, business to be done. Can I help point you anywhere? Is there anything that a particular line of work that you'd be interested in pursuing?
Any work is good work. Uh, who's the highest payer?
Highest payer. Well, are you just looking for your little bit of day labor? Are you looking to find and slay a great monster? You know, what kind of work are you interested in? Suppose it's more about your tolerance for risk.
Risk is no factor. Pay is best, but day work is good as well. Who's looking for day work?
Got a couple of options for you.
and you see Chum comes out and he puts a hearty foaming mug of ale in front of you. It smells pretty good. He gives you sort of an awkward little like obsequious half bow and gives
Right back to the cooking.
and he sprints and scrambles his way back around.
Well, let's see. Do you have any particular skills that would be helpful for me pointing you in the right direction for someone?
Uh,
Good with
can
a
I
blade?
Yeah, I was about to say, can I do a performance check? Maybe see if I could like just do something fancy with my blade.
Ooh, absolutely. Give me an acrobatics check if you're going to do that, because performance would normally be charisma, and if you're doing some fancy little dagger work, let's give you that dex bonus. So yeah, give me an acrobatics check. 13, not half bad. You go ahead and you kind of flip the dagger up. He kind of catches it, tosses it, fink, tink, fink, tink, like back to hand to hand. You're not doing like too many tricks, but you're clearly showing your competency with it. And you see Thaddeus goes,
Oh, well, if you're sharp with a blade, then you've got a couple of different options. You ever been flying?
No.
Well, if you feel like it, then always go over to the aviary just east of the inn here. You could speak to Grom, you could speak to Morrow, and see what you've got there. You know, they've usually got some sort of flying beasts that are a little bit difficult for them to keep in line. Always good for a little bit. Now, you could go to the warehouse if you was feeling it. A little bit of threat and adventuring, sneaking around, trying to find things on the way to the lost and found. Always a good thing. I'd also suggest, are you familiar with a gentleman named Garoloth in town?
Garoloth does ring a bell,
Yes, the most honest of types, right?
of course.
If you wanted to speak with him as well, he usually has some unusual opportunities available. Just, be careful when you're around him. He's a boisterous personality.
Thank you for the warning, and thank you for the ale.
At least I can.
Or go ahead.
The least I can do.
and indeed, as you're sitting there, Chum comes back around and brings you out this delicious bowl of eggs and meat that they place in front of you. He gives his awkward little obsequious bow and says,
Hope it is to your liking.
and he hobbles his way back towards the kitchen.
Excellent. I'm gonna just enjoy breakfast and what's it called? I guess I can come up. Ask how much do I owe you?
For breakfast, we keep it cheap around here, 25 silver.
Well, just gonna toss him 2 gold.
Well. Is this for your room as well?
Sure. Yeah. and then
Your
just go
ge-
about my business.
your generosity and forbearance is something that will be spoken of in the halls for years to come. I appreciate you deeply, Shmeeli. Let me know if there's anything I can do to be a further assistance.
And he gives you that deep kind of a fluttering bow, kind of like what Chum did, but this one with almost like a little bit of class. Make me a history check. 10 history. With a 10 history, you have seen this kind of a bow before, actually. You being the elegant lizard folk diplomat that you are, making your way west. From the dim over towards Keres. One of the biggest settlements on the Allied Dales of Dale is a city called Lildale, city state, you could call it, which has got a whole bunch of orcs in it. And those orcs are also known for their particularly flowery bows that they like to do. They're sort of like high class orcs. So you're getting the feeling that these guys may not be necessarily locals to the area themselves. Uh, but with that, Thaddeus gives you his flowery little bow and heads back up to deal with the large frog beast, who seems to be grumbling something in Infernal.
Here,
It's the music.
I clearly have. This music is beautiful. I clearly have no understanding of what this gibberish is towards the north. Upon my exit, can I do just a little perception check to maybe see if I could overhear what the ape and the minions are saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say that if you wanted to try to be a little bit sneakier, you could go ahead and roll a stealth check. That way you could go ahead and make it look a little less obvious if you're trying to like sidle on up to him.
All right, let me
Yeah,
do the stealth check.
give me a stealth first, and then we'll see how that perception goes. 14 stealth, damn that +8. 14 stealth, you're keeping it pretty cool. You're like making it on by. You're not doing your like vanish into the woodwork routine, but you can get yourself a little bit closer. Give me that perception roll. 17 perception. The big gorilla ape seems to be referring to I'm not sure how familiar you are with demonology. Being from the dim, you might be a little bit more than some people. Give me one more history roll, and then I promise I'll stop you, make you stop rolling for a second.
You're good.
6.
Ooh.
You do know that the red one is an imp. Imps are fairly common demonic creatures where you're from. The dim's got a lot of that stuff. They're more of like servant types. They can also kind of be like bound as familiars. Meanwhile, though, the larger ape and like this kind of like grumpy flesh-looking critter, you don't really know what they are other than they just kind of look weird. And as you hear them talking with each other, you can't quite make out all of the words of what they're saying. I don't think that you speak Infernal, but a couple of words of Draconic and Common float up as well. And the impression that you're getting is talking a lot about landmarks, like in the local area, talking about going further south down along the coast, and eventually potentially making their way to the city. Make me an insight check. I want to see a good roll come out here. Nope. Based on the impression that you've gotten from this is clearly the front runner of a demonic invasion that is on its way to attack the Keresian coast in a matter of hours. Unfortunately, they're simply too powerful, and there's nothing for you to do. So you can simply go about your day without any sense of guilt.
Alrighty. Well, thank God I have nothing to do with that. Let me go ahead and just get out of here.
Indeed, you skedaddle and make your way from the kindly mother ape and her 2 children plotting their vacation. So what would you like to do? It's a beautiful morning day. The sun's out. It's a comfortable temperature. Faintly humid. It's got kind of like that close to the coast sea wind coming towards you. It feels, real fresh, like that little tang of like salt water and like maybe like faint kelp in the distance. What would you like to do?
Well, after taking just a nice deep breath after this beautiful day you're describing here, Shmeeli first, I believe, with the belly full, is gonna look for work because that's first and foremost. After work is described or whatever I need, maybe I'll go ahead and do a little shopping, depending on what needs to be done.
Absolutely. If you want to just make a general investigation check, or is there somewhere specific on the map that you wanted to go to?
Uh, there was two spaces: the flight zone and the warehouse.
Yes, there's a couple of ones. The aviary actually, as you're standing out there, you look just across the street, and you see Morrow Arcturus, who was the one who introduced you to Flardo all those many days ago. You see him on the top of this squat, wide building. It looks like he's like fighting with a couple of chains on the top of the building. And as you look around the exterior of this building, you see uh, what look like to be a couple of like dragon-like creatures. They're not full dragons; they're sort of missing some of the parts. But they seem like they're almost like on chains here, kind of like barking around. Make me an insight check real quick.
Should be coming in.
No worries. Roll20 may be overwhelmed by how many criticals it's about ready to hand out to you.
I'm about to do it again, just in case.
It's okay. There we are. With a 9, this has got kind of a stable vibe to it, which is weird because they're dragons and like a big manta ray with like teeth and stuff. So like, what's the deal with this? You want to go check it out?
Yep, definitely. That was the first place.
Hell yeah. There you go. In comes the second roll. Roll20 is probably overwhelmed right now. All right, so give me just a moment here while I pull up this shop. All right, so as you make your way to the squat building, the first floor seems really almost pretty empty. It's basically just like a storage area with a staircase leading you up to the second floor. It seems it's got a very like musky kind of smell to it, like the scent of droppings from lots of different creatures, some of which you recognize, some of which you don't. It's also you can tell like relatively. Actually, make me a perception check. I'll call this one a perception here. There we go. The 17. You can tell that this building um, has actually not been around for all that long, which is kind of surprising because it's already showing the signs of like wear and tear on it. Like the stone's got a couple of like cracks in it. Like the walls don't seem like they were like properly painted, like maybe ever. Um, so it's kind of a weird feeling because like this place, even though it doesn't seem to have a lot of age on it, it's already fallen into like a mild sense of disrepair. Just a little thing you notice.
Clearly, this place has seen some tough situations. And I guess I'm gonna look over tomorrow and just raise a kind hand. Just a
Yeah.
gesture of hello.
So yeah, no, we're actually up on the second floor here. My apologies if I
Ooh.
wasn't clarifying that, but yeah, now come up to the second floor, and Morrow immediately cracks a big, bright dragon smile, raises a claw and walks over towards you, and he goes, "Shmeeli, it's good to see you again. Wasn't expecting to see you so soon. How did your adventure to the library go?"
Uh, Successful, and I'm just gonna pat my belly. Just let them know I'm just happy lizard right now.
Well, that's what I love to hear. Yeah, it's that's a really sort of what better way to get involved in the Parisian lifestyle than a little bit of life-threatening danger while doing a mundane task, wouldn't you say?
Just gonna nod.
Grez, I'd like to introduce you. Come on over here. Meet Shmeeli. Shmeeli, this is my boss, Graz Doommouth. Graz, this is Shmeeli, one of the adventurers I was telling you about in town. And as this gentleman comes over, you see this like aged tiefling. He's got red skin, kind of like sallow yellow eyes. He's got kind of like that like sag going on, where like the skin's just kind of like given the like we're past 50, we don't care quite as much attitude to it. And he comes over and you notice like a little bit of a limp to it. This guy maybe he's been a little bit been through some brighter days. But he comes over and he extends a gnarled yellow hand into your direction and goes,
Nice meeting you, Graz Doommouth. Trying to make a little bit of business here. It's nice meeting you. Nice meeting you.
"Yeah. Feel free to make a perception check at any time too if you want on this guy." 21 definitely smells of booze.
All right. Well, extend my hand and just be like, Shmeeli, pleasure. Uh, Business, you say? What kind of business?
Yeah, we've got a couple of different options around here. You gotta you look like a pretty strong type. You ever worked with animals before?
Um, with that, he kind of takes a step over, and one of these large dragon-like creatures here casts an eye and immediately like looks over towards you and kind of like gives you an intimidating look.
Can I do an intimidation check back at it? Can we
Uh,
roll?
Absolutely. Tell me how you intimidate this draconic creature here.
Well, just look. I mean, I feel like kind of part of the same family, not necessarily the same creature by any means, but definitely, relatives along the line somewhere. So it's gonna give me some scaly look. I'm gonna just give him just the death glare. Just kind of have one hand on my dagger and just kind of like unsheath, like pick it up a little bit. Don't pull it out the whole way, but
Nice. Give me an intimidation check. 8. It goes ahead and gives you kind of like this eye up and down, and immediately like starts like hopping up and down, like like starting to flap its wings around a little bit. It doesn't seem to be particularly intimidated. It's more of now, well, it's doing its own little dance now. It starts like knocking around some of the items nearby, like he's starting to pull on his chains a little bit more, and Guy's like, whoa, calm down, jeez, I'm grow. And you see a little flare of energy release from Graz's hands, and the wyvern slowly stops its thrashing around and begins to relax and comfortably settles itself back down at a normal length of its chain.
Sorry about that. These ones are the city loners. They're a little excitable.
uh, just just kind of questioning, just like how much does the work pay?
Well,
What do you need?
it all depends on the kind of work you'd be interested in doing. If you'd be interested in making some deliveries, we could certainly get you a commission for that. Morrow, you're saying he's an adventurer, right?
And Murrow goes in and goes,
As I understand it, managed to bring down an entire library. So the legend goes of Shmeeli, I should say. Um,
And Graz goes ahead and goes, well, on the other hand, if you'd be interested in making some collections, we could certainly go ahead and if you'd like to be interested in acting as our agent here, we could work out a commission if you wanted to do a little bit of debt collecting on our own side for somebody who, as Graz looks over and makes eye contact with this manta ray looking creature that as it sort of floats there and these long undulating wings kind of like pass themselves up and down, it opens its mouth at you, and you count just dozens and dozens of teeth in there. Graz looks over at this and goes,
Someone left this poor, sweet creature behind 2 weeks ago and hasn't paid their room and board. Now, I'm not in the business of trying to, repossess anybody's animals, but if you were interested in trying to collect on this one, at the very least, we could see a commission towards what they owe towards your fee.
Just be like, I'm just gonna stare at this creature for just a nice long minute, just to be like, I love animals, and I'm gonna take that. I'm just telling like I'll do the job.
um, "Are you staring at that manta ray creature?"
I was staring at the manta ray creature and like like just admiring it, just like I love animals. Just and then I'm gonna put a little hand on this little tiefling and be like, like I'll I'll get your money.
um, Give me an animal handling check. Uh, with a 6, oh, damn, that looks like that should be an 11. Um, with a 6, you notice that the manta ray creature kind of floats maybe just a little bit closer towards you, but doesn't make any further onroads. The teeth are still bared, its purplish little eyes like flick, 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 flicking around. You can't see any pupils or anything of the sort. But Grez certainly looks and goes, well, now that's a little bit more along the lines of what I was hoping for. It's phenomenal. Well, here, let me go ahead and make a recommendation then. If you're interested in following up, let me double check where that individual is located. Now, the last I had seen of this individual was over towards the night market. He's some kind of a fiend. I didn't really get a good description well enough to say other than he's short, squat, had sort of reddish eyes. Um, might have been a merchant. He had more than his fair share of bags that he brought along with the manta ray. I'm not entirely certain that he spoke common. Most of our dealings were in infernal. If you see him, he owes 1,500 gold towards the room and board for this creature. If you bring me that 1,500 back, 300 of that's yours. I think a 20% commission of that is more than reasonable.
Still infatuated with the mana ray. I'm just gonna be nodding, just be like, sounds like a plan. Sounds like a deal. Um,
Morrow looks over at you and goes,
Do you wanna pet him?
and just two hands on the tiefling and be like, yes.
Morrow goes ahead and carefully comes over, like grabs the chain, making some like clicking noises under his tongue. Go ahead and how do you approach this manta ray creature?
Kind of like how you approach like any creature or like any pet you don't know. You're kind of like have your hand down. You don't just kind of testing its boundary, kind of slowly approaching it and then maybe letting its head touch your hand before you actually start petting it.
Oh, you're being so respectful, Shmeeli. I love it.
Just never seen this creature before.
Well, give me an animal handling check, this time with advantage.
All right.
Graz kind of steps out along the way. There we go with an 18. Um, As you extend your hands slowly, the creature doesn't seem to be nearly as aggressive as the wyverns were. In fact, it's getting a little bit closer, and very distantly, in the corner of your imagination, you feel a warm and positive presence curiously push back on your mind.
Gonna lean back, just close fisted, bring it in, just be like, just look over the tiefling and like, I'm gonna get you your money.
Well, it sure seems that the two of you learned how to hit it off. Yeah, absolutely. So, what the name you're looking for is Gracker, is what we've got on the documentation here. So, Gracker, last seen near the night market, short, demonic looking, infernal, beady little red yellow eyes, owes a lot of money. 1,500, you bring that back, it's consider it yours. 300 yours, and I'll even let you spend a little bit more time with the Ray.
Be like, just one simple question. How do I speak to an infernal?
Um, good question. Does anyone you know speak in Infernal?
I have no idea.
Well, the one person I know in town who does, that would be Penelope. She's actually just north of the night market, southwest side of the Undersquare. She's sort of a scribe in town. Does a lot with documents, contracts, but I know she speaks Infernal. She's a tiefling. I'd be I'd be happy to accompany you, but he's been sort of giving me the shrug here for a fair bit here, and well, that's why I'm commissioning you to go ahead and get me some of my money back.
I will figure out the rest. Thank you, sir.
Nah,
And then
you
I'm just gonna nod over at the manta ray.
Go ahead and do you just a simple little nod. Describe that nod to the ray.
Eyes still connected, just after that like graceful touch, you know, or eyes are gonna connect after this. And I'm just gonna give it like a little couple nods, and I already know like it's gonna know what I am. It means nothing, but it like means everything at the same time.
Um, you feel a faint, wistful sensation knowing that you will be leaving this manta ray in the back of your mind. It's ever so delicate, it's ever so light, just a very light little touch, but the manta ray will miss you and will hope to see you back. Excellent. And with that, you make your way down through the stairs to the front of the aviary.
Perfect.
Where would you like to head next?
I am. I'm gonna go to the shop. Um, I'm gonna say I'd probably go to Garla.
Oh, hell yes. Indeed
The
you do.
teleshopping.
All right, let me port you on over there.
Because remember that was like kind of like the last shop that me and my friends were at.
Indeed, before your Shmeelific instincts took over and made you just happy and sated.
Now, before we continue, allow me to, if I may, take a bio.
Oh, yes, of course. And that would be a perfect time for that.
All right, I'll be right back.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. There we go. Please don't tell me that's been out the entire time on the stream. Test, test. On the stream. Test, test. Oh, that doesn't sound terrific, but one minor crisis at a time, I suppose. On the stream. Test, test. Oh, that doesn't sound terrific, but one minor crisis at a time, I suppose. On the stream. Test, test. Oh, that doesn't sound terrific, but testing. Oh, there we go. That's the audio input capture. So I did want to have that muted. There we go. There we go. Hello to everyone out there in Greater Keres. This is Agnate Myrna Kelly's coming to you live from WKRT, the Zoo. Got excited things coming from you. 6 months of the Tempest. Broadcasting live from the city of Keres. It's the Agnate Power Hour. Oh shit, where's my hat? It's not with a dapper hat, it's not honest. Oh, Shmeeli, I have made you make so many rolls for no good reason. We must spare you. Get you doing some stuff with some impact.
Shmeeli is back. Sorry for the wait. I had to call my mother there.
Aw, that's nothing to apologize for. Sounds like you've got your priorities right where they should be.
But I am back now.
Fantastic. So in that ensuing time, you casually make your way on down to the south, hooking your way through to the Undersquare into the front doors of Honest Garloth's Pan-Planar Teleshopping. Um, from the inside, you can go ahead and hear already a number of loud noises and kind of like grinding. Would you like to open the doors?
I'm gonna gleefully, I think is a word. Yeah, sure. Open the door. Yeah, walk right in.
Excellent. As you do so, immediately you are greeted with a unpleasant, high-pitched noise coming from this tentacled squid monster in front of you. It's a really painful, unsettling sound. You've heard it a little bit last night, but this is your first time like being fully sober, being able to appreciate it. Um, Simultaneously, a warm, kindly, boisterous voice begins to fill your imagination. And as the tentacles thresh themselves around, the kindly squid creature introduces himself.
Ah, hello! Our silent child returns! Looking to make another purchase! Looking to make your first purchase! It is a pleasure to have you back here! Welcome! Welcome to Honest Garlots! How may I be of assistance to you today?
And you see these eyes blinking at you, 1, 2, 3, stacked on top of each other, just like flashing away full blast.
Just be like, ah, hello. Yes, I was maybe a bit too content with my meal last night.
It is understandable. Did you get yourself some hot tide?
Hot tide.
A fancy meal prepared by the gentleman to the southwest of us.
Oh yes, enchanted. Yes,
Enchanted meals! A customer of the most discerning tastes. It is understandable why you would be taken away by the finest things that Keres has to offer.
Oh yes, and beautiful ale with meat and eggs for the morning.
Oh, good! A person who likes meat and eggs and ale. You will do well in Garoloth's empire. Come in. Snuffles, get this gentleman an ale.
Snuffles, the dwarven assistant you see, looks over at Garloth, flashes him a big ol' smile, and rushes into the back room, where you hear a popping and fizzing sound.
Yes, come in. What can I do for you this finest of fine days? Fine things, fineries, things from beyond the plains. I can get them all for you.
This is why I love this place. Is I can find anything I require.
Yes.
First, specialty items you must or you may be carrying at this time that are readily available.
Yes. We have so many delightful things here to go ahead and entertain and delight. Now, how shall we say? Are you like your friend last night, the short gentleman professor? How shall we say, a broke bitch?
Shmeeli has gold coins to spare.
Gold coins to spare! Then spare you shall! We shall spare no expense in giving you a display! Snuffles, where's the ale?
Snuffles comes scooting back around, big frothy mug of ale in hand, very hastily makes his way over there and goes, "Oh, I'm right here, Garaloth. Here you are. Pardon me, I didn't catch your name last night."
I'm Shmeeli, and you?
Oh, Shmeeli, well, my name's Snuffles. I'm Garaloth's assistant. It is a pleasure to meet you properly by name, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you to be of assistance. And he starts
Get,
running back
get,
over.
damn it, I missed it.
What were you trying to do?
I was gonna see if I could maybe do the same handshake I did with him in Euphrates.
Oh, yeah.
Upon
Absolutely.
whenever he brings me the ale.
Fantastic. Before he turns around, he goes,
Oh, pardon me, can I be of assistance?
Yeah, can I? What? Would you want me to roll, or may I do this?
what is it that you are trying to do precisely?
The same kind of handshake that me and Euphrates did when we first met, or met again, I should say.
Got it. So you extend your hand out into the Growth Alliance, like traditional gesture to like open up the handshake, and you see Snuffles uh, kind of look at you, look down at the handshake, and kind of reach out and give you like a really warm, friendly handshake. He looks a little confused. Fortunately, Garloth looks over and goes,
Ah, Snuffles! I believe you are not aware of what our guest is trying to do. Here, let me show you.
and this long, slithery tentacle comes out from the kiddie pool and like makes its way all like gross and slimy like over. And you see that the tentacle rests itself on Snuffle's head. And all of a sudden, Snuffles like perks himself up, sticks his hand out, and go ahead and give me a dexterity, just a flat dexterity for the handshake. 16, nailed it. Not a problem. Bap, bap, tap, 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 it, ab, dip, bap, bup. You go ahead and you flash through the Growth Alliance handshake. Snuffles, eyes wide, kind of surprised that his arms are moving of their own accord and knowing exactly what to do. Like, looks really excited that he's getting this opportunity to do it. Um, as you finish, the tentacle slowly recedes itself back into the kiddie pool, and Snuffle goes,
Oh, well, thank you for showing me that, Garaloth. I did not realize that we were in the presence of a member of the Growth Alliance. Well, all the better. I am so excited to give you a tour of the premises.
Garloth looks at him and goes,
Armada! Growth Armada, you silly child! You have much to learn. This is why you are the assistant, and this is why I am the professional. We shall collaborate. You shall be great.
Snuffles kind of like giggles himself. He goes, You got it, Garloth. I'm sure working at it.
What a most pleasant welcome.
Yes. Now, you as a member of the Growth Armada, special privileges and rights afforded to you. So let us give you a showcase of the wares. We are so excited to have someone of your remarkable stature and appearance with us. Yes, yes.
As he goes ahead and starts to show you around, Snuffles leaps over from position to position and begins to lift up the objects and show them off to you.
The first here, this is a ring, a most powerful ring, a ring of mind shielding. Do things seek to interfere and intercede with the powers of your brain? Well, this ring here will protect you from those that wish to plunder your thoughts, and plunder they can, except with this ring, and then you would be fine. And this,
Snuffles runs over to a necklace on the far side of the bar.
This necklace here is a necklace of fireballs, you see. And with this necklace, you can transform the beautiful rubies that rest within into flaming spheres of hurt on your opponents. Who wishes to harm you, they shall be the ones who are harmed. There are 2 rubies for 2 fireballs. Yes, these are fantastic. Normally, these things are 500 gold apiece. But for you, most welcome member of the Growth Armada, yes, we could make an agreement down to 440 gold.
The ring and the neck piece are most beautiful. The ring, however, seems more along the lines of what I am looking for.
Yes, indeed. And this is a powerful ring.
And you go ahead and see the slithery tentacle go ahead and come its way over and like pluck the ring up
And yes, 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 this is such a powerful ring. The things that it will let you see and not see, you will be able to pass through the vision of those who wish to hunt you. Through the ethereal realms. Is your mind a precious place that you wish to hide from others? Then this is the ring for you, my friend.
How much?
440 gold for the non-detectable ring. The ring of non-detection. The ring of mind shielding.
Gonna reach in my pocket and just pass this guy 450.
Ooh, 450. He said 440 and you passed him 450. Make me a persuasion check with advantage. Spectacular. Uh, Garloth is enthralled. You actually hear Snuffles at you paying him more than you need to. As Snuffles runs up, he takes the gold from you, starts like counting through, and you see the realization that you have willingly overpaid. Garloth immediately retracts the tentacle, places the ring on the table in front of you, and all three eyes grow very, very wide and go, yes, truly, truly these things that they speak of. Generous, compassionate, and wise. The Growth Armada is worthy of the success that they will be afforded, and you, Shmeeli, shall be their leader. Garloth wishes to reward you, yes, yes. We will go ahead and provide you with wonderful things. Fill your pockets with the most wonderful delights of Garloth's. Do you have, perhaps a weapon or a trinket that you wish to see imbued with additional power?
Just be. Is there any way? There's no way. No, this is crazy. No, never mind.
No, what are you thinking? Talk it out, dude. Anything's
What if,
possible.
what if he gives me a grill? What if I get my teeth imbued so I have a stronger bite? But that was just fucking.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, with a 21 on persuasion, a lot of things are possible. Give Garloth your pitch here. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna flash on my teeth and be like, "These are the most, these are my most sacred weapon. My most sacred weapon is the one thing I can count on." And just gonna flash on my teeth.
Garloth, all all three eyes, which previously up till this point have been just like wide as saucers, all three of them like blink, 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 like simultaneously, and goes, this is a new one even for me, but yes. Do you mind if I take a closer look at those fine, fine vestiges that you have on attached to your mouth there? You see Snuffles looks maybe a little uncomfortable as you see the tentacles start to come out over towards you. Do you let
Just
him? Do you let him examine your head?
uh, can I put the ring on before?
Uh,
Or
yes,
can I?
you may absolutely, but I'm going to say if you want to do that, you are going to have to roll for initiative against Honest Garloth. Not it's for combat, but to see who goes first.
Okay, I'll do it.
You willing to do it? All right, let me grab Garloth here real quick. So as Garloth goes to examine your head with this long, luscious tentacle, um, you rapidly. There we go. There he is. Uh, we both roll initiative. Oh, Garloth, of course. Not bad. Way better! So yeah, if you want to go ahead and put that ring on, as that tentacle starts like slithering its way over your way, you have a full round action, bonus action, reaction, and movement if you would so like to use it. Please don't try to hurt Garloth, unless you want to. That's up to you.
All right, so this is we're in combat at this time, correct?
Not combat, it's just breaking down the movements into the chunks so that everything has its rightful order. So if you want to put the ring on, go for it.
Yes, I want to put the ring on for sure.
Absolutely. So go ahead and put that ring on, and let me double check the phrasing on that. Ring. I may actually be able to just drag and drop that into your inventory here. So 1 second. Where is it? Where is it? R-I-N-G, RNG. There it is. Nice. There we go. And saw that you took the gold out. Excellent. And there's now a ring of mind shielding in your inventory. As you slip the ring on, most unfortunately, the power does not instantaneously kick in. You start to get a sense that this ring is going to require a little bit of time with you before you can understand its magic and attune yourself to it to be able to invoke it at the right moment. So with that in mind, the tentacle is still slithering its way on over to you.
Well, if I put on this ring and I realize this, I am instantly gonna put up my hand and be like, "Wait."
Yes, patience. I understand. My tentacles are long and luscious, and they are beautiful to behold.
If you need a moment to prepare yourself, and you see another long, slithery tentacle start to make its way up,
you just let me know. I am fine with waiting as long as you need.
I'm gonna just be like, "Put the tentacles away." I can't. Not
You-
today.
You cannot? Not today? Why not today? Why not this day? Why not this most finest of days? I can give you the golden teeth that you desire.
Be like, I wish not to sacrifice any taste and savory delights for the near future if I were to have my teeth imbued. And I'm just gonna put out my rapier, my sword,
Yes,
and
yes.
be like, take this instead.
Understandable, understandable, and regrettable.
Snuffles goes ahead and takes the rapier from you, hops his way over, kind of doing a little like happy little like skippity-doo dance, making his way over towards Garloth as he presents the rapier. And Garloth, make me an insight check.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. 10.
30?
No, the 10 you take if you accidentally roll with advantage, you take the first roll because that roll would be there one way or the other.
Okay. Sorry, let me take that off the advantage too.
It's all good. It happens. So with a 10, you don't really know what Garloth is or what Garloth's deal is, but you could swear he almost looks a tiny bit disappointed that he didn't get a chance to touch your head. So as the rapier gets brandished about and examined,
Yes, yes. Now, this is a fine weapon indeed. If you would like to have something fantastic imbued within this weapon, Garloth, as an appreciation for you as a respected member of the Growth Armada, we could go ahead and provide you, yes, a single enchantment onto this weapon free of charge. Consider this an early bonus on your membership card. However, for another 100 gold, I could imbue this weapon with a second enchantment. 2 enchantments in one. I cannot say they would be great enchantments, but they would be interesting ones for certain. Would they give you powers? Would they be distasteful? They certainly would not suck.
Just gonna give him, what is it called? I'm gonna give him 120 gold this time.
Garloth looks at the 120 gold being brandished. Snuffles goes ahead, grabs it, acquires, flips back around, uh, presents it to Garloth, and Garloth looks at Snuffles and goes, "You know what you must do, Snuffles." And Snuffles looks at the crackling portals. Make me a perception check, actually. Yeah, with the 9, it's kind of surprising, but makes sense why you haven't seen these up until now. Behind Garloth are a pair of crackling, like, arcane planar portals. You haven't seen a lot of these before, and as you especially understand it, like, in Keres, portals to other planes, it's kind of not supposed to be a thing. There's supposed to be, like, one or two places, so the fact that there's a portal here, huh, big huh. But as Snuffles is admiring this particular portal, Garloth gives him a obsequious flare of all the tentacles and goes, "You know what you must do, Snuffles." And Snuffles goes, "Absolutely, Garloth. That's provide excellent customer service." He takes your rapier, takes a running leap, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Snuffles disappears from the material plane.
Wow. Let's go.
Yes, Snuffles, he is a fantastic worker, wouldn't you say?
Excellent indeed.
Precisely. We here at Anaskarlas Panplaner Teleshopping understand and appreciate the value of long-term customer relationships, and that is why, I shall be providing you, as an additional bonus for your most kindly of generous donations towards this beneficial of causes, I will be giving you 2 punches on your membership card.
And you see Garloth pulls out from under the desk a hole puncher, and a little purple, looks like a paper styled membership card. And he goes ahead and punches 2 holes into the membership card, and the tentacle extends itself over and places it on the table in front of you.
This membership card, if you carry it with you, continue to shop at Honest Garloth's with multiple punches. Great secrets of the arcane will be revealed to you for 10 punches!
I'm just gonna pick it up with both hands, just with just like let out like just like a little slither of my tongue. Just happy to have one. Just pop it in my back pocket. Just thank you.
Yes, a valued customer indeed. Our long-term success will be spoken of for eons to come.
And with that, the portal flares, and out pops Snuffles, looking significantly worse for wear. He's kind of taken a little bit of a beating. Looks like he's got like twigs in his hair. Like there's a big like rip along some of his clothing. He's got like you can see what looks like bandages wrapped around his waist. Like looks like he's been gone for a lot longer than like the 30 seconds that he wasn't in the room. But as he comes out, you see that your weapon is now flickering with a new strange magical energy from the inside. Snuffles goes ahead, hops over the table, smiles and presents it to you and goes, "Courtesy of Honest Garlas Pan Planner Teleshopping, I present to you your enchanted rapier." And Snuffles hands you your rapier, which is now glowing and shifting. Upon your next rest, the properties that have been imbued within this will be revealed to you.
To gracefully take it over from this halfling, I believe it is, and just admire the sword for all its beauty. Just kind of give it a little few like swings in the air, just like admiring the was it just like twinkle from the enchantment and just like the way it sways in the air, just like it's like I don't know how how it feels different.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and you really do enjoy it. In fact, you notice how light this rapier feels in your hand. In particular, as you're messing around with it and getting this feel, there's a swiftness that moves that, even as the weapon itself is very light and very agile, you start to get a sense that that agility may spread even more than just the blade, and you start to feel a tingling in your toes as the magic spreads itself through your entire body.
Gonna put it back in where was it in my on my side or on my back? I'm gonna say it's on my back. Put it back on. So I could just be admired from everybody from behind.
Yes, yes, admiration, admiration for your finest of wares. You brought that from honest Garloth. Please tell the world that honest Garloth was the provider of this most fabulous of enchantments. I can tell you right now, this one's a good one. I think you will like it.
I'm gonna just thank him again once more and be like, I will speak of honest Garloth and nothing but praise throughout the lands.
Garloth goes ahead and all just so many tentacles in the mouth, in the body. They all kind of drape themselves down. It's kind of the sensation of like one of those like meat blossom flowers that has like all like the long sinewy like coming down from it. Sort of drape themselves down into this kiddie pool, and Garloth goes,
Yes, you, Shmeeli, will be revered amongst our customers. Now let me tell you in the future, should you need anything from honest Garloth, just simply make the request. Snuffles and I will find it for you. We will deliver to you, and you shall be satisfied.
and all the tentacles go up at once.
I'm just gonna continue.
No, you.
I was just gonna give him a simple nod, nothing crazy. Just be like, just already thankful for everything. Pick up my wares, pick up everything, my little punch card, my ring. I got my sword, and just happily walk out.
Snuffles goes ahead and returns your nice little bow and says, "Have a good day, Shmeeli. I'll see you soon."
Alrighty. I'm a
Oh,
happy customer.
indeed you are. So give me just a moment here, and I am going to juice your rapier up for you.
Almost went with the teeth. Almost.
It would have been interesting if you did. There we go. And so as I punch this in here, the striding rapier of shield. I'm sorry, the striding rapier of speed.
Damn. That's a lot of damage.
There you go. So this is actually a super fun weapon. As you scroll through it, it contains four charges of the Longstrider spell. So you essentially can use that. I believe it's either an action or a bonus action to cast, but it will improve your speed for the duration. You also get a +1 bonus to your initiative rolls, and as long as you're first in the initiative order, your speed goes up by 5 feet.
I love it.
So you now have, we'll have to figure out how to tweak that there, because your initiative is now 4 + 1.
Wait, in all encounters?
In all encounters, yeah.
What? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
You went to Honest Garrulus, dude. This is a wild table here. Like, you got, like, 4 charges of a first level spell, and then you now have a +1 to all of your initiative. And again, if you get top initiative roll, you get an extra 5 feet of movement. So make sure you don't forget that. That's pretty cool.
That is amazing. So is this something I have to change myself, the initiative? I don't think I can.
I'm trying to change that right now. There's a way to do it on the back end here. So I'm clicky, 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 do. Oh my god. All the extra time that you used to spend. There it is. Say 4+1 now?
Yep.
Perfect. Give me a quick initiative roll just to make sure that it's working as intended. Ah, damn, that looks like it's working. Perfect. So yeah,
Beautiful.
if you ever choose to, like, do something else, like if you use something besides the rapier or whatnot, then, you don't add that extra 1 in. So just to be aware of it. But, yeah, let me double check the phraseology. And, message it to you right here, too, in the chat, so you've got it right in front of you. There you go.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that was a pretty good little combination of perks there. So yeah, as you go ahead and depart Garloth's, your pockets full of newly zesty magical implements. You about just getting to about noontime, the sun's right overhead, sort of blocked by the aqueduct in the Undersquare. What would you like to do next, Shmeeli?
I want to maybe look for this Penelope girl.
Indeed. So you know that Penelope was to the southwest. So indeed, as you start making your way over to the southwest,
Is that who I think it is?
you make your way over, and you see a purple-skinned tiefling woman standing before you. You see that she's currently in conversation with some of the mages over in this far part here. Actually, make me a perception check. 21. Beautiful. So this is actually the first time that you've really taken like a long look at this area here, and you're starting to get a sense now of how it is that the North Crossroads makes their money, because this is cool. Um, Above your head is this long aqueduct structure that you've seen ships, small little cargo ships coming to all hours of the day and night. But over here on these platforms, you see a series of wizards in green robes flowing arcane energy out into a series of crystals along the corners of these platforms. And as the wizards perform these slow ritual like gestures, the platforms slowly rise themselves upward, where they're loaded up with cargo to the ships, and then are slowly lowered beneath to the ground level where they're loaded up onto carts, and then loaded slower and lower down beneath. Where it looks like there's this subterranean warehouse-like space. You see a couple of shadowy figures, this kind of like earthen-looking creature with lots of arms, loading up boxes and sort of sorting things around. Um, But watching the way that these platforms sort of work with each other, it's almost kind of serene. It gives you this feeling of a very practiced, professional atmosphere as these two platforms rise back and forth across each other, seemingly in sync. Um, as you do that, you also notice with a 21, you notice the purple skin tiefling is has a series of like scrolls taped to the back of a shield that she's carrying with her, and she carries a long quill with her, and she as making notes based on the cargo as the platforms rise up and down. Yes, may I help you?
Penelope, yes?
Yes, I am Penelope. May I ask who's inquiring?
Shmeeli is my name.
Shmeeli, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Penelope Name, member of the Keres City Council, here master of records and contracts. What brings you to me in the middle of my workday?
A contract has been broken. I am here to collect upon the matter. It includes a tiefling such as yourself or someone who speaks Infernal, so I need assistance in collecting the debt.
A broken contract, you say? Make me a persuasion check with advantage. Because boy howdy, the mention of a broken at the mention of a broken contract, you just saw her head like perk up dramatically. 18, you see that she makes a gesture over towards the wizards on the platform. You see that her hands quickly craft like a little sigil into the air, and then disappears. The wizards on the far side, one of them gives a nod and raises a hand at her, and she takes the quill and tucks it away into ethereal space. She walks over to you and says, "Well, you speak to me of a broken contract and somebody who needs to speak Infernal. I take it that you come to me on the recommendation as well. That's the least I can do is to be of some assistance with you. Please, where might you be looking for this individual?"
Bakar is his name.
Grakar,
Short, short and squat, who has the red eyes.
excellent. As you do this, just a moment. Ah, shitting balls, that was not the right one. As you do this, you see a crackle of purplish energy ever so quickly dissipate off Penelope's hand. Make me a perception check, this time with disadvantage. Oh, dang. You're all over the place with your rolls tonight, dude. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. 19 on perception. You see the tiniest furrow shimmer in the air right off of Penelope's shoulder as she moves her hand, and it almost looks like something jumped off of her shoulder. But there's no body, no form, just this slight shimmering of air. Grakar, you said. I take it he is a merchant of some kind?
Of some kind, yes.
Indeed, and when it comes time for addressing this contract, may I ask what what debt this gentleman has skipped out on?
And I'm just gonna look, just very dramatically, like hand clench, a beautiful manta ray.
Make me a actually no roll on this one. You see that she immediately her hand like comes up to her throat. She's like, not the beautiful manta ray over by Moro Arcturus, not that manta ray. Surely not that manta ray. You mean to tell me that this foul scum has left this manta ray here entirely on his own, with no one to care for it? He is a debt and a cheat, and he wishes to go ahead and leave his animal where none can find him?
I'm just gonna put my hand on her, just like, help me with this journey. You must collect.
She steps forward and she clasps a tiefling hand onto your shoulder as well and says, Lizard friend, together we shall do a great service to the animals of this world. Her eyes ever so briefly unfocus, and she goes, I know exactly where this fiend is. Are you willing to take extreme measures if it becomes necessary to recover what is rightfully ours?
Let this go.
Yes, let us. And with that, she actually leads you down an alleyway over to the southeast, and she says, Follow me, this is a shortcut. And indeed it is. She goes ahead and takes you between a crack from these two buildings and leads you to the edge of the night market, where you have actually been just yesterday when the group was buying donuts. I don't know if actually you had any of those donuts. I have to imagine Shmeeli would have had at least one of them. If you did, make me a perception check real quick.
Oh Jesus.
That's okay. 10. You're not able to tell exactly which one of the donuts it is that you're smelling, but there is like this distinct air of like pastries and like meat around here. And you can't help but even after the delicious breakfast you had, you're already starting to salivate. Penelope gestures towards the purple tent. And as she leans over there, she goes, All right, you see the foul creature standing in front there?
Yes, I do.
This filthy beast. You are fortunate, because not only that, Grakar owes taxes on the things he has been selling to the council, and he has not paid them. So, with this, how shall you say we will be able to strike with uh, two stones with from one bird? She smiles, and her eyes unfocus again ever so briefly. Now, would you like to try to negotiate with this foul creature?
I will speak to him upon both behalves if you like.
Absolutely. I shall simply translate for you. And so with this, Penelope is willing to stand in as your mediator. So whatever you say, she will automatically be able to translate into Infernal for you.
Okay, beautiful.
As you come around the corner from this little expanse that you are on, all of a sudden this short, squat critter turns around and goes, and immediately, like in surprise and alarm, starts garbling this series of like disgusting, guttural, fiery nonsense syllables at you. Penelope rolls her eyes and begins to translate. Um, this foul creature here says, Who are you and why are you trying to steal my wares?
Just be like, I have no need for your wares, but yet only your debts. I have two. I have two debts I am here to collect.
Um, he says that he has no debts with you. He would know your face if he did.
Just just tell him I am the one face you do not want to see, but have now have laid eyes on. So this is not only a warning, but if you do better, you would listen and not and shut up. So I want to do intimidation.
Oh
If you
yeah.
can.
Oh, I was you don't have to say I want to do intimidation. That was just straight up intimidating. Yeah, give me that intimidation roll.
All right. Let's see here.
Oh yeah. All of a sudden this weird, funky little critter here kind of like you see like these little like fin-like hackles it's got on its back kind of like they like start rising up and down independently of each other. Starts like shifting himself around. Looks inside of his tent. Looks back in you. Takes a back step into his tent. Goes. Wants to know which of the debts you are trying to settle and how much he owes.
First, was it the Citadel?
Do you mean the city council?
City Council. Yes.
Ah,
The
Shmeeli, you are so thoughtful.
so the City Council and tell him the debt, of course.
Uh, but of course, and as you would certainly understand, this gentleman here provides his own form of, how would you put it? Actually, let me double check. Yes, this gentleman here provides his own enchantment services of a similar nature to, but distinctly unlike that of Garloth. Which is to say that if you are using our marketplaces for such expensive transactions, little fellow, you will owe 500 gold at the immediate appearance of an agent of the council. Um, you see the little critter with a 21 on the intimidation on this. The critter runs inside. Give me a perception check. 8 perception. You see him duck into like a shadowy little part of the tent, and the lid of whatever chest he's storing his things in. You hear the clinking of gold as like a little pouch comes out from somewhere, and the top of the chest is closed. He goes ahead and emerges out with a little sack of gold and shoves the gold into Penelope's hand and goes, well, that was certainly easier than I was expecting here. Shmeeli, I will have to keep your services on retainer. 500 gold paid to the council.
Now the most important. Manta ray.
He says that he paid for that manta ray in a monthly installment and that he has 1 week left to come back to the manta ray.
You must pay. That is what is being told, and this is what I'm here to collect. Any disputes you can discuss with the holder.
He says that the holder is a lying cheat scumbag and his dragon buddy sucks too. And all of you are swindlers, and this town is trying to rip me off for every penny that they owe. Make me an insight check here as you're looking at this wormy little critter here, like thrashing around, making these gacking accusations. 12? You ever see like a kid who's like, when they get caught doing something, they try to deny that they didn't do it? Kind of getting that vibe here. It's not like he might be telling the truth on some of this stuff, might not be. He's being obtrusive right now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
This he says that he's not going to pay a dime of that, and if you want, you can go ahead and drag the money out of his face before he goes ahead and pays that 2-bit swindler for his manta ray services that he already didn't pay for.
I'm gonna take a step forward. after the insult, just the mention of this manta ray.
Mm-hmm.
Can I
Indeed.
just take another intimidation at him?
Oh yeah, I was about to say that is intimidating as shit. 15. This Guzzbuggy little bugger here, gives you a gack, gives you a yelp, um, and tries to go invisible. I'm gonna need you to roll for initiative. There we go. And then Penelope, where are you, Penelope? Ah, yes, there you are. Ah, shitballs. There we go. Bam! Pen sheet is up. Ugly dudes. Thing is up. And now, Fight Night Audio! Ah! Let's do it! Where's the tunes? Is it playing the tunes? Do I hear drums of war? These the drums of war. There we go. Wonderful. All right. And then Penelope goes ahead and rolls for initiative. 16. As she goes ahead and sets herself up here, it's Penelope starts us off. She stands back quickly and goes, Shmeeli, what would you have me do with your disappearing friend here?
Just root him. Don't stop him from leaving.
Absolutely. I'll do my best. She begins to move in and attempts to grapple. Gonna be athletics with disadvantage because she can't see where he's at right now, but she's taking your cue and going for the grab. That, nope. She goes ahead and swings for where he was, but the head just absolutely... She's like a good foot above it, and she goes, ah, shit! Let me think on this one really quick. Shmeeli, you're up. This little bugger was just standing in front of you. Scummy little fella. Lots of, like, grimy, like, black pieces all over his body. But he's just vanished. You haven't heard any sound that makes you think that he's gone anywhere else. But he's not visible at this point. What would you like to do?
Question. I would like to, if possible, use Hayward's handy spice bag.
Ooh, how would you like to use the spice bag?
If possible, to pull out flour. If we can't do flour, then I would probably do like was it like turmeric?
Absolutely. Flour, I don't know if flour would actually count, so the turmeric pops into your hand, and you've got yourself a goodly sized handful of turmeric. Feel free to use that turmeric as an action.
And I'm just gonna use that action to throw it like in the general area. I think this little infernal guy's going off and running off into.
Make me a melee attack roll. So go ahead and give me the same roll that you do for like your dagger attack.
All right, so dagger attack.
Yeah. Fabulous. 21 absolutely hits. Tell me, like, are you just like lob a handful at it? Are you giving like a little like Peter Pan sprinkle? 20 when you've got some latitude.
Oh, this is like no hesitation. Just straight get the spice in my hand and just chuck it. Just not even try to be fucking sensitive about it at all. Just making sure to get as much of it gets on him as possible.
And as this thick coating of spice goes ahead and gets over there, and actually being able to speak from experience that turmeric does, actually, I do have Julia here. I could go in for a moderation vote on exactly how sticky and corrosive turmeric can be in this setting. But let's go ahead and say for the purposes of this that the turmeric, paf, settles in like a thick, like viscous coating, and the effects of the invisibility are pretty much nullified on this guy. You've got your movements and a bonus action. Nicely done, Shmeeli.
I don't know if I could use my bonus action to grab him by the arm with strength or not.
Probably not. That would normally be an action. If you've got anything else that says it uses a bonus action, you could feel free to.
If anything, I'll use Master of Tactics to um my other tiefling friend, and I'll just tell her, just be like, I know you can do better than that.
Uh, so as you go ahead and give the Master of Tactics over to Penelope, she goes, "You're right. I can absolutely do better than that, and so can he." And with that, she gives her reaction, attack as reaction, over to her familiar, this black raven that materializes next to the creature. And as Rend adds himself into the initiative order, we'll just go ahead and add him in manually. There we go. As we switch over to Ren's action, Ren is going to take a attack roll here, using Penelope's action from her turn. Pop it out, pop it out! The little thing just takes too long to load sometimes. Come now. Fuck it, it's with a +6. Bam, natural 1, it doesn't do anything. So as you watch, this beautiful black raven emerges from his own invisibility and swings in and tries to puncture the skin of this little devilish bastard here, but it does not succeed. It is now the little devilish bastard's turn. Grakar turns around and, looking at all of you trying to swarm him, he turns around, takes the disengage action and tries to like extricate himself from everything, runs, and as he hits the back of the tent, boom, you see the tent shrink down to ridiculously tiny size and vanish into almost the size of a pack that he's now carrying with him. He tries running a couple more feet, and manages to get out onto the edge of the grass at this point, clutching this along with him. It's now Penelope's turn. Penelope looks at you and goes, "Shmeeli, what would you have me do?"
I'm just gonna yell at her and be like, do something.
Well, I can do that. She'll go ahead and try to fire off a hypnotic pattern. She says, "I certainly know what to do with that one." And she goes ahead and releases this super bright blast of swirling energy in this gigantic cube. It's gonna be a DC 15 against this ugly little thing. Natural 4. You see as this twisting pattern goes ahead and bursts out. It almost blinds you for a second because of how much is going on. And as this instantaneous blast of pattern begins to dissipate, the gentle critter is totally enamored by whatever it is that he's just seen, and does not seem to be moving. Shmeeli, you're up.
Well, my controls is all weird. I can't control it properly.
You can't drag yourself around?
It starts lagging me.
Huh. That's weird.
Here, hold on. Let me refreshing the page.
Go for it. There we go. How you doing?
See here. Perfect. Okay.
Excellent.
So I was what here?
Yeah, right about there.
Was it? I didn't have first initiative. Okay. I guess can I use my bonus action to dash over here?
Oh, absolutely. You dash, boom, double your movement.
Can I use my action? Well, I guess he's dazed. Or
Yes.
he's under some spell.
He's charmed for the duration, incapacitated with a speed of 0. So if he takes damage or if someone shakes him out, but you've got the opportunity now to, kind of do with him as you would please.
I'm gonna rush on over to him. I'm gonna put my arm around, around his shoulder, on his back, depending on our height. I'm gonna start brushing off like the turmeric a little bit and be like, it's no need to run, just merely business. I simply require the gold. If you pass the gold over, I will be on my way, and if you ever need my services, I am for hire as well.
He's so out of it right now, you're not totally certain if he's catching on to what you're saying. Penelope steps over and goes, that pattern is really pretty powerful. It's got a lot of zest behind it. You may need to give him a little, smack to, get him to not be a weirdo. It'll also actually, wait, hold on, I can drop this.
Wait, before you do,
You say the
could
word.
I check his pocket? Can I pick his pockets?
Totes Malode, sleight of hand check.
All right, sleight of hand. Let me see here. Mother trucker.
With an 8, and 8 is not the greatest, I'm not gonna lie. But as you stick your hand into the pockets, you go ahead and find like 20 loose gold pieces and a potion of healing.
I'm gonna smack him just a little bit on his face.
Yeah,
Not even letting Penelope drop it. Just be like, I want the rest.
Absolutely. So we'll go ahead and say that you can save that. Actually, this is a perfect thing to do. If you would like to ready your action, you can go ahead and time that anytime that you would like. So if you just say, I'm waiting for X to shake him awake. Drop the
Okay.
concentration.
Yeah. Uh, what's it called? Yeah. I'll wait for Penelope to drop it then. Already in action. Just tell him like I want the rest, and just hold out the like show him the gold coin and the big healing potion.
Oh, excellent. She drops the pattern. You watch the clack, clack, and realizes that you're all like right up on top of him. Um, Go ahead and make me. Is this more intimidation? Would you describe it, or is more persuasive? Are you trying to get him to get this over, without violence? Or are you being like, if you don't cooperate here, I'm gonna kick you around some more?
Well, I'm not sure if he heard me or not when he was under his hypnosis.
Clack, 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 clack.
I don't
But
think he heard you quite clearly.
just, I told you I am here for business. I simply need the gold. And if you ever need my services, I'm for hire. But at this time, give me what is owed.
Clack, 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 clack.
He says, if I give you all of that gold, I will ruin myself, and plus I don't even want that shitty manta ray anyway.
I do not care what you do not want. I need what is needed.
Um,
I do not care if it breaks you or not.
Give me one last intimidation with advantage here, especially since, like, Pen is right behind you. You see that he goes ahead and throws the tent open. 17 on intimidation? Oh, yeah. You see the little bugger
Clack. Eh, eh, eh.
runs into the tent. Scrabble, 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 scrabble.
Ah.
You hear the sound of gold being transferred. Closes the lid. Runs that back. And sticks out a pretty hefty gold bag into your hands, Shmeeli.
Perfect.
Give me
I'm gonna grab it and thank him.
give me an insight check.
Let's see here. Oh my gosh.
Oh, doesn't matter because they were
Are
both.
you
That's what
kidding me?
all of your nat 20s have been hiding. Well, perfect.
Dude, that's funny.
That is so funny because as you take the gold and you being a practiced individual with, decent sums, this guy's trying to scam you. He did not put 1,500 gold in here. This is light by like a good 400 gold.
Just be like, I'm just gonna shake my head. I'm gonna pull out my brand new striding rapier. And oh, I didn't mean to attack him, but I wanted to do like an intimidation more.
Absolutely. Well, with a 25 as an intimidating slice with that, I'll say at this point, you've got so much momentum here. We don't even need to roll for this. You caught him with that insight.
Clack, clack, ah, ah, clack, 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 clack.
Runs in there and takes the remainder of the chest. Actually, lobs the chest at you. I'm going to need you to make me a dexterity saving throw. 23. This Maloke thinks that he can go ahead and throw a chest at you. And he tries, but woo, he's a crap shot, and you are deft as all hell. You sneak out of the way. Penelope is just like, oh, really? That's just tasteless. As the little bugger grabs his tent and makes a sprint around as quickly as he possibly can off to the east. Based on the clinking that you heard, the chest actually has probably a significantly more in there than the 400 gold he was trying to stiff you for.
I'm gonna look over to Penelope and be like, I don't believe you needed characters like that in the city anyway. I'm happy to get your was it just dues, and I'm happy to get mine as well.
Well,
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate that, and I also appreciate you as well, stepping in so thoroughly to assist with this negotiation here. If it were up to me, and you see the Raven flies over and sort of lands, alights on her shoulder, and then disappears. If it were up to me, everyone would be obligated to keep to the contracts that they write and to the deals that they make. It is such a shame that some of these people are so uncouth as to not respect the values that we cultivate around here in Keres. Enjoy that treasure chest. Whatever else is in there beyond the deal, let's just say that that is a welcoming gift from the North Crossroads Committee. But in the meantime, Shmeeli, was it?
Mealy is the name.
I will keep an ear out for you. There will be many times that I can imagine a person of such diplomatic skill will be of value to the council.
And just be like, uh, yeah, just thank her again. May I pass across sooner than later.
But of course, I will be in my office should you ever need me. And she goes ahead and takes long striding motions across the field, and indeed ducks into the building just to the north, where apparently there's a side entrance to her office.
I'm gonna gleefully look through this big old treasure chest.
Hell yeah! Give me a D100 roll. A 66. Not bad. Not fabulous, but not bad. So as you go rooting through, you end up counting an additional 650 gold in there. So you're now 150 gold up from what the total sum was that was owed to you. As you are digging around, you also come across a strange-looking trinket on the inside. Um, you happen to see a little, it looks like a leather band that happens to have like an inscription along the side of it in Infernal. So the one word, actually make me an investigation here real quick. 15? Nice. As you're looking this over and looking really, like heavily trying to decipher the text, there's actually a word that kind of looks similar to what you're familiar with in Draconic, and it basically translates to manta. So you've got yourself a neat little leather band there, that if you would like to attune yourself to, you may add into your inventory the Shepherd's Band.
Please and thank you. Let's see here. Add. It is in my inventory.
Fantastic. And as a result, you now get +1 on your animal handling checks
Hey.
once you attune to this, which that is actually something that if you would like to take maybe like a short rest here as well, you can go ahead and say that you're attuned to all of the fancy new swag that you've picked up.
Hell. I what's it called? I want to head to the nearest bar real quick and grab a drink before I pass out.
Hell yeah. You're gonna drag the treasure chest along with you, or are you gonna stop by the aviary to let him know that you've got the money?
Honestly, I'm just gonna at the inn there was ale.
Oh yeah, but do you want to like stop by the aviary really quickly and like see the people that you got the gig with?
Oh yeah.
You know, get them the money that they're owed, not just 1,500
Yeah.
gold just for you. I mean, you could keep it just for yourself if that's the thing that Shmeeli wants to do.
No, I was gonna turn it in. I gotta
Oh,
see the mana ray again. I was just thinking about holding on to the gold until I was attuned with the animal handling until I could go back.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, if you want to do that just for like a quick little breather, then we can say that over the span of like the next hour of you like shuttling around, you get like a quick drink and you're able to like get to know some of your magic ish. So let's take you over. What are you feeling? You feeling like Greg's Grog, or do you want to try a different bar in town that you haven't been to yet?
Good experiences at Greg's Grog.
Greg's Grog it
Uh,
is.
no,
Oh.
not good experiences.
Oh.
I want to try. I want to try a different bar.
Indeed. As you check the map that you've been referenced, there is apparently another bar way to the northwest. This one is called the Velvet Hammer. And this is apparently more of like, as opposed to spirits, the specialties of this establishment seem like they skew more towards wine.
Shmeeli is thirsty for wine.
Indeed. And with that, you find yourself, after just a spare couple of minutes of walking, at the entrance to the Velvet Hammer. Uh, by comparison to Greg's, this is kind of a swanky establishment. Like, there's lights outside that are like, even though it's not like super late in the day, they're already like casting a glow. So it's like, wow, like they're not trying to like cut expenses. Like the inside's got like this warm kind of homey interior. There's these velvet tapestries you can see like hanging on the walls already in the foyer. Would you like to make your way in?
Yes, I'm gonna step my way in and just look for the first person to talk to.
Absolutely. As you make your way in, you see that you've got bartender, you've got a barmaid making their way around. Make me a perception check also. 21 perception. In addition to the usual cast of characters that you'd expect to see at a bar, in particular, you notice a couple of weirder things. One, you notice that there is 100% a mummy sitting at the table, like basically right across from the entrance. Um, you haven't seen a mummy since you left the dim. Seeing something like that obviously undead in the middle of like a social space gives you kind of like a warm fuzzy feeling. You know, you're not used to like being in public with horrors and having people not treat it like a huge deal. So that's cool. You totally notice that and kind of excited about it. The next thing, and you notice this just as you take your first step in, your eyes almost seem like they're struggling to focus on a corner of the room for a second. And as you squint harder and sort of push your vision through to like catch your eyes on this thing that just keeps sliding over, you notice that there is a gentleman in white and purple robes, uh, bandanas covering their eyes, and a mask with a smile painted across it. Hurriedly brushing away, polishing the floor of this establishment.
Uh, Completely confused by the individual to my left here. I'm just gonna be like, just a simple nod. If he's just cleaning, I'm probably gonna walk right past him.
Goes ahead, raises you a hand up from his rag. Goes, "Hi there, enjoy your drink,"
Hello.
and
Thank
goes back to scrubbing.
you. Yep. Gonna walk right past him.
Cool. Doesn't seem to worry about it too much.
I'm more interested in popping the squat right here, keeping an eye on this little mummy. It's making me feel warm and fuzzy, and then catching this barmaiden for a drink.
Absolutely. And over to you, Struts. She's a blue dragonborn, so immediately kind of like gives you like a half look of like recollection, like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you around here before, and says, well, it's nice for you to stop by. The name's Mithrix. Mithrix Nan, what can I get you?
I am looking for. I hear you have wine.
Indeed, we have some of the finest Croatian wines available for this year and 20 Tempest Pass. What can I interest you in?
A nice bold glass of red.
Absolutely. Would you like late harvest, late harvest, or last minute harvest?
Go for late harvest.
Late harvest it is. I'll be right back. And you see she heads her way over to one of the very well-stocked cabinets of bottles along the side there. And as you're looking at it, you're noticing. Give me a perception roll, actually, just for this specific like part of the rack. 14. You get kind of this sense of like a color gradient to it almost. The area that she's pulling your bottle from seems to be further over onto the left with a couple of other like similarly colored lighter sorts of wines. Further to the right, it gets into like progressively like darker and darker colors. When she removes one of these bottles, brings it over to you, and says, "Here you are. That will be just a simple gold."
I pass her two and just take the glass.
Ah, what kindness! That's certainly not a tip, is it?
Ask for gold. I ask for wine. Thank you.
A very charitable sort. Do you mind if I ask you where you're from?
I'm gonna take a sip of the wine.
I don't mean to intrude. I know that there's a lot of travelers throughout Providence who come to Keres. Even just curious, business or pleasure.
Straight business.
With a businessman, I'll keep that in mind. You don't worry about it. I'll keep you well stocked for the rest of the evening. You just call out for Mithrix, all right? And she gives you like a wink, turns around and makes her way over behind the bar again.
Excellent. Well, can I take this time while enjoying wine to, like you said, take this little short rest?
Absolutely. Are you at full hit points and everything?
That's what I was also gonna ask you. I said it says 32 plus 15 here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Well, you had that delicious meal yesterday, the Hero's Feast, correct?
Oh, is that why it says 30? Why I put 32 plus 15?
Normally you've got 32, but plus 15 is how you show that you have like that bonus increase to it. Because the only catch with it is sometimes people don't keep tabs on it. We had a thing where our ranger wasn't like realizing that temporary hit points are kind of their own thing, so he ended up having like 60 hit points or something by the time that we noticed, which was a big blow to him because he immediately turned around and took like 40 damage that he was supposed to have taken as a result of that.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm dead."
Pretty much. It was one of those like oh shit moments. So yeah, you still until the evening you still have like an extra 15 hit points. You also get some other perks too, like you can't be feared, you're immune to fear. You get advantage on I think wisdom saving throws if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check Hero's Feast. There you go. You're immune to poison, immune to being frightened. You make all wisdom saving throws with an advantage. You're cured of all diseases and poison, and your hit point maximum goes up by 2d10. It lasts for 24 hours.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's still you're getting into like afternoon or whatever. Y'all ended up getting your snacks around like dinner time. So you still got a few hours left. You're still feeling bold and unbeatable. Excellent.
Can
And
I
yeah, go for it.
can I maybe can I maybe say or just like kind of peek over to this person over here with the mummy, see if I
Mhm.
recognize him?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a history check. Let's see how well what memory bells this rings. 17. Nice rolling, dude. Um, as you walk over, you do not recognize these individuals offhand. But the mummy in particular, as your memory is going back through it, mummies are a particularly like far off group from your part of the dim. They're almost as far to the northeast as you can get in Providence. It's really like way up there, further away from Shinerhide. But it's also something where you know and actually have had some interactions with Mummy Society, which is this really kind of like peaceful, little melancholy kind of colony on the far outskirts of civilization. They trade, they have like little like acts, but with them sort of being immortal but not having a lot of senses with it, it's a sort of melancholy interaction whenever you've dealt with them in the past. um, this certainly looks like a mummy from that area.
I'm just gonna, I guess, hold my glass up and just like, I guess, to two friend or to familiar faces.
uh, the mummy turns a faceless face towards you, the head rotating slowly, raises a glass filled with what looks to be like thick, viscous sand. And in your ear as well, ha! May you live as long as you want, and never want as long as you live. A pleasure to meet you. The
Should we tell
name,
her?
the name is Adrian. What brings you to my table? You don't hear any of this out loud. This is all taking place inside of the ear of your imagination.
Just I've always had great interactions with the mummies and of your kind. Simply wanted to raise a toast. A little
Uh,
cheers.
Ironic. My last name is in fact Madre. Adrian Madre, this is the name, and you are
Meaty.
Shmeeli. Shmeeli. And I take it, Shmeeli, that you are of the dim?
From the area, yes.
What brings you so far from home, fellow traveler?
I should ask you the same.
Hmm. You first. My answer is, well, I'm. Oh, you'll find out soon enough. I'm making my way before any further strife affects the dim. It's been a difficult time for our people, and with the looming clouds on the horizon thicker than usual over Channerhide, it's only a matter of time before darker tidings come.
I'm just gonna nod in agreement. Just if I could help in any way.
Indeed. Who would you wish to help? Me or the people of the dim?
Sounds we have similar interests. Helping
Hmm.
you would indeed help the people of the dim.
Indeed. And that is why I make my way to the city of Keres with these fine consorts who've agreed to take me to my way. For when the festival comes, I will prove to the god that I am worthy of its favor.
Just was it just let her know, just like I'm a businessman and your business is similar to mine. Just maybe a token of friendship should be in order, an exchange of some kind,
Hmm.
and for our paths will later cross, indeed.
But of course. And you see that his hand uh, comes out, and again it's just all of these bandages. It's very like classic mummy, but like you see actually, with as well as you've been rolling, you actually see like the bandages have like a little bit of like a sewn trim on them, so it's not just like the wraps. Like these are like a little bit more cared for, a little bit nicer. They've got like some what you imagine would be like a family insignia on it, and this little like black storm of necromantic energy starts to form on this outstretched palm. And he creates a little token of an obsidian scarab. And in the palm of his hand, he reaches it out and goes, a gift from the Madres to you, Shmeeli.
I'm gonna take I'm gonna take it, and man, what do I give this man? I'm gonna give him a platinum token.
Oh, excellent. And he goes ahead and holds the token and goes, a powerful trinket, all things considered. Thank you. I look forward to our next meeting. Shmeeli, was it?
Melee is my name.
Excellent. Keep yourself far from Channerhide, Shmeeli. You know what you're doing. And you see that the mummy finally has started getting like a couple of like curious glances from like the other like dragonborns that are sitting at the table, kind of like looking at him and kind of groaning like "Ugh." You hear like the mummy groan back out to the table, and like the two of them like sigh and go ahead and like take like deep drafts of their drinks and start to make their way out of the bar. As the mummy Adrian is walking by, you go ahead and feel the pat on your shoulder of just like a commiserative "see you soon" as the figures leave the door. Make me one more perception check as they're on their way out. Pretty low DC on this one. Oh, damn. You see that all three of them on their way out almost kick the robed individual in the face, who is down on their hands and knees still, like, scrubbing away on the floor entrance. It doesn't look like it was malicious, but, like, it was, like, an inch away from that person's face, and they didn't notice, and he barely flinched.
They all pretended to.
Um, uh, you just noticed them oblivious to this individual.
Okay. I'm gonna take a big old swig out of my wine.
Oh, hell
And
yes. It's real good. It's like really, really good. Like the label goes ahead and has like this little picture of like it looks like an illustration of like a grape paladin like fighting against a tornado. It's like super cool and like over the top. It's really good. It's got like a clean flavor to it. Um, yeah, it's a good wine.
can I observe this scarab that he gave me?
Yeah, absolutely. It's from casual glance, it's a really nice, hefty obsidian trinket. It's not too finely detailed. It's more looks like it's designed to be like a token or like a keepsake than it is like a statue. So like the antenna aren't too fragile; they're more like stylized and almost geometric. Um, but it seems to be make me a history check. Pretty good rolls here. This is starting to ring some bells that the Madre family is not necessarily like one of like the leading groups that you've worked with, but as part of your like diplomatic introductions to groups in the dim, you've had some dealings where you're like, okay, like I need to like know the names of all the people in this room, and you swear, though you can't be certain, you may have been in at least one function before with a Madre, but you're thinking about it and you can't place which one of the mummies that you've seen this one may have been. Fun being a monster, ain't it?
It is. Well, I'm gonna shrug it off and just be like, just pocket that scarab. Just happy to have a token, and then I think that's it with me being in here. I'm gonna go off and try to turn in this the what is it, rent? I'm not even sure what I collected here. Just money that was owed.
Yep, exactly. The board and lodging for the incredibly expensive manta ray that this guy has been storing for the last 3 weeks.
Yep, it's exactly where I'm going.
And your belly full of delicious wine, and your head full of song, and your pockets clinking full of like various tricked out magical artifacts that you've managed to get your hands on. Shmeeli makes his way over towards the squat flat building that indicates the aviary. And this time you go ahead and see Morrow is sort of trying to deal with the wyvern on the northeast side. The wyvern's like giving these kind of yelps in like a broken draconic, which basically um, actually just give me a straight intelligence. Like, do you know a little bit of draconic here? So this is kind of like pigeon draconic. The wyvern, you're pretty certain this guy is trying to tell Morrow, piss off, piss off, piss off, in Draconic over and over again. It doesn't seem to be like he's got a really like big vocabulary, but he knows that phrase. As Grez looks over at you, he goes,
Oh, Shmeeli, you're back. How did it go?
I just want to drop that treasure chest, or just like pull out all the money that was owed to him. Just
hell yeah.
present it.
1,500, that is a significant sum. You pass it on over. Grez's eyes grow ever so wide, being like,
Well, I haven't been able to get that little bastard to pay up for weeks now. I'm impressed. That was efficient. How'd you do it? Was there a little bit of magic? Was there a little bit of threatening? Was there a little bit of, did you have to stab him? How'd you do it? How'd you get him?
Stabbing is last on the list, because once they're dead, you can no longer collect.
Oh boy, you really are new to town, aren't you? Well, that's all right. What did he say he wanted to do with the manta ray?
It seems that you're the new owner of the manta ray.
I don't want this manta ray. I've barely got enough spaces for my own wyverns here.
I would take the manta ray, but I cannot seem to fit it in my pocket.
Well, do you want to take over room and board?
Morrow stops from fighting the wyvern and like turns over his head and goes, "Oh, this is gonna be interesting."
And room and board would be how much?
Well, there is the matter of why this was so expensive in the first place, which is that this guy eats a lot. And surely you can understand exactly how much an all-meat diet can really charge you if you're really trying to commit to it, which, of course, we here at Aviary Flight Services always look to provide the finest of nutritional guidelines. So it's about 200 gold a week just in meat. From there, it would be another 100 gold for room and board. And then, of course, if you were not to pay on time, there would be some late fees and penalties associated with this. But 300 gold a week, and from there, you would be able to keep this Ray here as long as you'd like. I could certainly justify keeping him around at that rate.
Well, I will tell you right now, I do not have the gold.
A shame, a shame. When do you think that you could have that gold?
What are the benefits of said manta ray?
Well,
It is beautiful.
why don't you ask him?
I'm gonna walk up to the manta ray and kind of just ask it, what do you do?
Um, what language are you speaking in?
Straight start off in common.
Start off with common. Make an animal handling check for me with disadvantage. Oh, what a shame. The 20, but with the 14 with common, you start feeling that warm sensation tingling on the back of your mind again. And it's trying to find a way of guessing based on common what it is that you said to it. The thought of flight, of long distances, traveling in the air comes across to your mind.
I look over to the to this man and be like, what if I were to just set it free?
If you were to set it free, I think it would probably come down to what it wanted to do next. Um, Certainly, I can't promise that it wouldn't be hunted, though those rays are fairly expensive. But you, you do know the purpose of such a ray, correct?
I don't.
Oh, it's just. I'm trying to think. You're where are you from originally?
Uh, Northeast.
Ah, the Northeast. So you're from All? Well, All absolutely has it. Um, the you know carrier pigeons. You know the pigeons that you can go ahead and like load up with like letters and messages and send them on their way, and then they'll make their way there. You know, like a little bird that stores cargo and will travel long distances.
You're telling me this bird will deliver items, messages, and things for me?
Absolutely, and more than that, it'll go ahead. It responds telepathically. You go ahead and make yourself a friend there, and he'll go ahead and swing on by, pick up whatever it is that you need, and deliver it back home. You know, depends on the sort of relationship you form, and it's not instantaneous. You know, he's not a teleporting ray, but no, this is a delivery ray.
What language does it speak?
I think it speaks deep speech. It also tends to think in terms of symbolism. So if you can imagine the how would you describe it? Like a telekinesis. I don't know. I deal in wyverns. As you see Morrow over to the far side, trying to like pull a stinger out from his arm where a wyvern lodged it in earlier, and you see like this little like sizzle of poison along the side of it. Morrow goes, yeah, and that one even barely.
Gonna clap my hands. Just just happy. Just cause just we're laughing at the situation because he got stung.
I'm not the first time I've been stung, but I'm glad that it amuses you so much, Shmeeli. Mora will remember this. As you see him like takes this balm and like winces as he's like trying to patch up like this big tear of scales. The wyvern looks like super duper smug that he managed to stick Moro, and he's like dancing from like foot to foot.
And then go back to the conversation, just be like, okay, so let's talk about reward. What is my reward for bringing you back payment?
Well, you managed to bring back for us the 1500. So I had said that 300 of that was going to be yours. So alternately, if you'd like to go ahead and prorate that towards your first week here of storing your delivery ray, we could absolutely arrange that. In fact, I'll throw in a second week free, you know, in case it takes you a while to get back to the North Crossroads.
Sounds like a plan. I will keep this mana ray for the time being.
Fantastic.
And we will find some way to communicate.
Absolutely.
Communicate.
Give
Who don't
me
mind?
give me one more animal handling check. With a 5, the telepathic image of a really big steak fills your mind's eye, and the Ray is starting to communicate exactly how hungry he is. And like, hang, 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 hang. You see like dozens of sharp, long teeth, hang, 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 like open and close with an open mouth.
Just gonna nod and just like agreement, just like yes, food.
Ah! All right. Well, and keep in mind if you manage to get anything else out of the little scalawag, that's yours to keep as well. So enjoy yourself, and we'll go ahead and. What do you want me to call this? I can just call him your delivery ray, or
D-Ray? D-Ray it is. I like
D-ray it
D-Ray.
is. I like it. And you may now add D-ray into your inventory.
Yeah. I got D-Ray.
Cool. So here's the story with D-Ray. As you build up a connection with this ray, basically you can start to like teach it like basic commands. And eventually it'll get to the point that this delivery ray, like if you need to have something picked up while you are away from like a central town location, or you need something sent from place to place, it's like a long distance carrier pigeon with like the ability to hold a decent amount of stuff on it. As you're actually looking at this ray, you actually see a couple of like, not quite like saddle sores, but almost reminiscent thereof, where it looks like Grakar was probably using this guy as like a delivery and mount. So he was kind of taking advantage of this ray. It seems like if you go ahead and keep him for like smaller packages and like basic like come here, go there, do that kind of stuff, with a good animal handling check, you won't have any problem.
That sounds amazing.
Also, I'm going to say that you actually, I don't think you added your bonus to your animal handling checks yet for either of these, did ya?
No, so I'm getting a lot of stuff here, and
Yeah,
so
I wanna set you up with it now. Got you there. Get you the perks that come along with
okay,
it.
so Shepherd's Band and +1 to animal handling.
Mm-hmm.
So how should I do that?
So for that one, this is super weird. Oh, that's why. God, literally every single player character had disappeared, and I did not know how I managed to do that to myself. So there we go. So for animal handling, perfect. Animal handling, punched in. You
Cool.
got that 2+1 now. So
Perfect.
so give me just one more animal handling roll just to see that that's working correctly. Perfect. Ah, ah, ah. Wonderful. So yeah, you get that +1.
I like it.
And then do you know how to look at the specifics for an item, like what the stuff is inside it, like for your ring of mind shielding?
Yes, so there's a little eye on the side of it, and then I could scroll it down, and it says, while wearing this ring, you are immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your your thoughts, determine whether you are lying, know your alignment, or know your creature type. Creatures can telepathically communicate with you only if you allow it. You can use an action to cause the ring to become invisible until you use another action to make it visible, or until you remove the ring, or until you die.
Hmm.
What the fuck?
So yeah, you get some like one ring benefits with it. Also, if you
So I,
die wearing it, weird shit starts to happen with your soul.
damn. All right, so I just have the shit in my inventory.
Yep.
I'm not wearing it all the time then.
No, actually, for those, you're not wearing all of those, because if you're attuned to it, you want to just, you'd probably want to, like, wear the ring so that your mind is shielded. Unless you didn't want to be shielded, at which point don't worry about it. Yeah, it's all just, the tools that you've got in your toolbox now.
Yeah, I like this.
Excellent. Well, dude, with that, D-Ray goes ahead and gives you a very toothy, flighty thrash. Graz and Morrow, the two gravelly aviary workers, both flash you big thumbs ups. And with that, your day's starting to wind down here. The shadows are getting a little bit longer.
Uh, do I come out with any gold from that?
Yes, you still come up 150 gold plus. Actually, wait. No, it was 650 in there. He owed you, so you come up 250 from leftovers from the chest. And you also have D-Ray room and board for 2 weeks.
And that's 300 a week, yeah?
Yes, 300 a week after the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
First, and if you want to like take care of him too, like on your own, you can go ahead and like do that. But he's gonna need like 200 gold worth of meat because he's a hungry boy.
Damn, he's an expensive boy too.
Yeah, but it's also something where like once you become like better friends with him, like you'll have the opportunity. Like it's a relationship, you know. You develop these things.
Right. Happy. Got myself a D-Ray.
Excellent. What would you like to do to kind of wind down your evening?
Uh, are our shops still open?
Yeah, actually, you're probably catching it right now that you could get a shop or two. What are you looking to buy?
Consumables.
Oh, heck yes. Make me an investigation check. Not the best that's ever been done, but with a 9, the first spot that immediately catches your eye upon checking your map is the scrolls immediately to the northwest. Looks like that's kind of like a magical convenience store for all intents and purposes.
That sounds beautiful.
Excellent. All right, you make your way over there. Pacha! And as you come up to the exterior of this building, past one of these major intersections in the center of North Crossroads, it's got a really pleasant kind of vibe to it. Most of the shops and buildings you've seen around here haven't really gone to a lot of lengths as far as like painting or decorating or anything of the sort. But this one you see is painted in this really like intense shade of like forest green on a lot of its accents. It's a color green that you feel like you've seen a couple of times before. Actually, a couple of times before. Make me a history check. With a 12. So I have a question for you. Do you remember the name of the organization that kind of gave Growth Armada the bump off the council?
The Ace?
Ace, did you say?
I think it was Ace.
Ace? Not quite. It's on the tip of your tongue. Um, the name of the group was in fact Local 7. And you're pretty sure as you're looking here, that's the same shade of green that Local 7 uses on their robes and outfits. So it kind of clicks into your head there with a 12. Ah, this might be a Local 7 place. It's probably not that big of a deal, but there's at least like a sponsorship thing going here. I better be on my guard.
Okay.
Cool. And as you enter the interior, it's basically a magical convenience store. Arcane 7-Eleven, a gas station with trimmings, but the whole nine yards. And behind the corner there, you happen to see this deliriously looking bored shopkeep with eyes very firmly latched on, clutching a little paper cup with some kind of a liquid in it, and turns the second that you approach the door and goes, "Hi there, welcome to Scrolls. What can I do for you this evening?"
Just wanted to browse your wares.
Wanted to browse the wares? That's fantastic. We've got all kinds of wares here. We got good wares, small wares. You've got potions. We've got food, drink, cantrips, first level, second level spells, whatever you need. We've got it here for you at Scrolls. We also have adventuring gear. We also have other. We don't really have weapons or armor, but we can always look in the back for you. What can I get you?
Any special potions?
Oh yeah, well, potions. If you're looking for potions, we've got a couple of good ones here. Let's see here. Let's see. I've got a potion of healing back here. That one will probably do it for you for 50 gold. You also have the bead of refreshment here with commemorative cup. One of these beads, and you look at the bead, and it looks almost like one of those like tapioca pearls, like little boba thing. They kind of shifts around. It looks like there's this like gloshy kind of like water thing inside of it. One of these beads, and this will go ahead and keep you hydrated for a whole day. Comes with a commemorative cup. And he puts the little bead inside of this like large cup, and it says scrolls written along the outside of it in like this fancy like script font.
Oh, how much are the beads? Just like mesmerized at the cup that it comes with.
Oh, absolutely. The beads are 10 gold, 12 gold with commemorative cup, which comes with free refills.
Wow. What? just with nothing but happy thoughts of the library going down. Shmeeli can't help but think of the gang and just how awesome they would think it would be to have cups.
Hell yeah,
With these
if you want to go.
hydrating beads. So
Oh, you know it. And if you go ahead and make this, I can even zzz, and you see like a little bit of like arcane magic, like bzz, 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 like zizzles between his fingers. I can even make this bead here taste like anything you'd like.
hell yeah. Okay, so I want to buy how many do I need? 6?
You're gonna go ahead and buy 6 beads of refreshments and commemorative cups? Wow! And he gets like super, super stoked on it. He starts like running into the back. Make me an insight check real quick. 12. You're not certain what exactly is going on, but this guy has like huge bags under his eyes, despite the fact that he's giving you this like really good sales pitch. Um, Maybe getting the feeling that he hasn't gotten a whole ton of sleep lately as he runs into the back and comes out like arms full of these like bright green scrolls commemorative cups. And he goes, "Okay, so, poof," and puts down 6 of the cups. So there's a bead inside of each one of these cups. If you go ahead and fill the cup with regular water at the end of 24 hours, that water will transform itself down to a bead, free refills. You can take the bead out of the cup if you feel like it, but, then you only get like 1 bead per cup. Like it doesn't, you can't just like make a whole bunch of beads out of it. You know what I'm saying?
like just still mesmerized by the cup. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, sounds good.
Oh yeah, and as you're looking at the cup too, it's like it's like the longer you look, the cooler it is because it's got kind of like this like emerald kind of like shading to it. So like as you like hold it in the like the fluorescent lighting in there, like it almost like catches at like some funky angles and looks like it has like maybe the faintest of inner glow to it. It's a pretty nice cup.
Well,
All right,
I,
you are my favorite customer that I have seen within the last 72 hours, and that's why I'll go ahead and make it 72 gold for you.
beautiful. Sounds good.
Fantastic. Well, I'm Tipper Weeping Glen, and what was your name? And he goes ahead and sticks out this like little like kind of thinnish hand that's kind of drowning underneath these massive green robes.
Name is Shmeeli.
Well, Shmeeli, I'm Tipper. Tipper Weeping Glen. It is an absolute joy to make your acquaintance. And listen, if I can make that taste like anything for you, anything at all, you bring one of those beads in and boom, prestidigitation. That tastes like meat. That tastes like gravy. That tastes like berry juice. You name it, we got it here at Scrolls. Bam! And he goes ahead and makes a little shower of sparks, which fade off into the distance.
And I'm just like infatuated, just fucking loving the place, dude. Just like I want to give him gold.
Oh, well, now keep in mind, now I really shouldn't be saying this, but you said that you were looking for potions, right?
Yep.
Well, and you see he goes ahead and takes like a conspiratorial little like walk around. Now, I shouldn't be saying this because, cutting into my own margins and everything, like it's not the best thing that I could be doing here. But what I can tell you, and I kind of looks around, looks side by side. Um, Now, you see over there and like walks over to the door and like points to the southwest. You see that weird circular looking shop over in the corner?
This one?
To the southwest of you.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
This one right here, yeah.
I do see that.
You go, oh, what do you know? My roll 20 crashed on me. No wonder the stream was acting up. You see Tipper goes ahead and like guides you over there and goes, now, if you want potions in town, that's the place to get it. And I'd say you probably want to go sooner than later because one thing you can always trust is that Click's hut is going to vanish on you real soon. So get yourself over there and try to get yourself a potion in time. You look over at this very much this round little hut-like structure across the way from you, and you see a bright white light glowing from inside the windows.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell him I'll be back for the cups, but I'm gonna slam the gold that I owe him on the table. I'm just gonna put down like 75 gold, I guess. Just
Ah!
not even.
Ah! You're the best. Thank you. Oh, this is going straight to corporate. I couldn't be happier.
All right, and then I'm gonna scurry on over.
Cool. Um, so you scurry on over to this funky looking hut. Uh, and retroactively, my apologies to anybody who wanted to watch the interaction at Scrolls, who couldn't, because the thing was frozen. But as you go ahead and approach the hut, it's funny because you've actually passed this place a couple of times now, but it's not like, your eyes have like glazed over it. It's just, the place of kind of nice buildings. It's sort of a shanty town. So you're looking at this particular thing. You're kind of taken aback by how bright the light is coming from inside. As you look, there's a little wooden sign outside that says "Click's Vanishing Hut of Alchemy." And you hear sort of a low rumbling coming from the inside of the hut.
What a curious place. I'm gonna edge slowly up to it.
Excellent. Make me a dexterity saving throw. As you're approaching the hut, all of a sudden you hear a voice go, "Oh shit!" on the inside, and suddenly the light turns blood red and starts to sear its way out the side of the building. Shit, 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 shit. The voice on the inside starts to grow louder. The roof starts to spin and rotate. And you, with your keen roguelike instincts, know you need to jump the hell back right now. And you do so, fortunately, before a radiant sear of energy begins to emerge from all sides of the hut, louder and louder, energy, flaming, destructive, all building themselves up until... Zoom. A force dome appears over the entirety of this disassembling, crumbling building, preventing you from seeing inside. It's just this shimmering, iridescent, looks like an oil spill, has just wrapped itself around this building. And as you look at the sign outside, you see a little addendum appear next to it. Click's Vanishing Hut of Alchemy, closed for renovations.
Well, I am just gonna completely give up on that. Because just I'm not messing with that.
Oh yeah, you don't even need to do a perception roll for this one. The sense of like heavy, heavy ozone hits your nose, and like acrid burning. It's got kind of like this like ozone and tire fire smell to it. Yeah, something bad. Something bad just happened.
I don't believe there's anywhere else I could go. With the time.
No, with that, it is getting a little bit later. If you want to start making your way back to the safe passage, all things considered, a pretty productive day.
I think I'm gonna do just that. After a little shakedown, you know.
Hmm. Got a little shakedown, got yourself a manta friend, got yourself some sick enchantments, got yourself a membership card. Shit, that's the best part of it all. Garloth is thrilled with you. And
I
so
like Garloff. He's the man.
Oh yeah, and as you're making your way back, actually stop right where you are. Don't go any further on me. Um, as you start making your way back, you hear the rustling of wings overhead.
Meet me behind the safe passage.
Voomp, 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 voomp. And lo, Euphrates Sharp takes a low pass over your head and darts back behind the building.
Casually pick up the pace.
Oh, indeed you do.
Not to raise any suspicion, but the hell do you want?
Bah, what the hell do you want? What was that not cool shit yesterday, bud? 2,400 gold trying to go ahead and ask for extras? Boy, I wasn't expecting you to go ahead and be a ball buster while you're at it. Bah. Well, listen. I got some good news for you. I got some great news for you. We got a little bit of a deal worked out here with Franquito. So, here's the way this thing's gonna work. You interested in still pulling off this cheese deal?
It was completely incapacitated with the meal I had yesterday. Just enchanted and the meat, and I did not know what we agreed to. Although we did agree to it, so let us continue.
Haha,
But-
yeah, you had Crinkle's Hot Tide, right? That shit's good!
Much too good. It will only be was it enjoyed on celebration.
Well, hopefully you'll have a little bit of a celebration after this one here because you're about ready to make some cheddar, bud. So here's the way this thing's gonna work. This is your first time doing a multi-stage operation with the Growth Armada. Is that correct?
Very true.
So here's the ticket. All of these friends of yours that you've brought on board made a fantastic first impression. You, on the other hand, are the one that we know. And we've got, let's say, a little bit of a vacancy here because Steve the Bard is really an unreliable asshole. So we really do need an operative that we can trust to get things done in the local area. Now, with this in mind, a two-part operation here is going to involve a couple of different stages. Stage 1 is going to be us acquiring the goods. Now, I know that you are comfortable with doing all manner of chicanery and tomfoolery as necessary. However, this first part here is going to get a little messy. We're going to need to steal this cheese. The trick is that we, as members of the Growth Armada, as legitimate members of the Keresian organizations and the city council, are going to bust a bunch of cheese smugglers. Now, what these cheese smugglers do not realize is that we are the ones who have paid them to originally deliver this cheese. What is unfortunate for them is that by them being caught by the Growth Armada on their way in, they will go, oh no, what a terrible tragedy, what a loss. We have been caught and our cheese has been forfeit. Therefore, we will then take that cheese, move it to a Growth Armada vessel, and take that vessel into the city of Keres with the contraband on board. Now, does this make sense? What we are going to do, phase 1, is steal the cheese from the cheese smugglers, and then step 2 is we ourselves will become the cheese smugglers under the veil of authenticity. Does this make sense, Pa?
Beautiful. Master, it's just absolutely beautiful.
Good, good, good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. Now, there's a couple of different ways that this whole thing can shake out. You know, most of the time, cheese comes in through the northern border. Now, I don't know if you know Morris, Doris, Boris, and Horace, but they're usually the ones who work customs up there. They're not idiots, but they're not the brightest bunch that you got in Keres either. So, part of this is going to be we need to get the smugglers past the border with the cheese so that we can steal the cheese from them. Ways of doing this. I will leave it to your best judgment as to how we do it. Maybe the smugglers just get across. Maybe you all go ahead and distract them. I don't know. This is why we're trusting your expertise, pa. Now, the other side of it, once you've acquired the cheese, it's sort of a ticking clock, you would say, until all of a sudden the individuals are going to get wise to what we're trying to do here. You don't let that much cheddar move around without somebody noticing. And you can bet your ass that if it's going to be something worthwhile here, Local 7's going to have their beaks in the middle of our business. Wah! So that's going to be the second phase of this, is that inevitably we're going to have the opportunity to smuggle that cheese down south. It's all a question of when we get stopped along the way there, and how long we can keep the ruse up until they figure out that we know exactly what's in our pockets which is all of this cheese. Does all that make sense?
Sounds like a mission and something worthy of the GA. It gets me excited. Makes my scales tingle.
Yes, I would certainly hope it would. Because with that in mind, and your comments about finances being well received of last opportunity, I will say that should you be able to deliver the entirety of the product to location, there will be a 3,600 gold reward for you to split amongst your party and compatriots. Now,
Do you remember our last encounter?
of course I remember our last encounter. You said that I was trying to cheap you out of it and that you deserve double. Well, I gave you 150%, so that's about as good as you can get given the circumstances. Don't ask too many questions in this economy. Fantastic. But keep in mind, that's 3,600 gold, assuming that all of the cheese is delivered properly. It will be proportionately reduced based on the amount of cheese lost in the process. And I know you're still new to town, but really, don't get caught with this stuff on you. You know, you're a good kid, I think. How old are you? I don't care. You're a good lizard person. And I really don't want people in town thinking less of you. And you get caught with a bunch of cheese on your person, well, they're going to think less of you. It's not a mean thing, it's just the way that those things go. So, you understand? Don't get caught.
Oh, we won't. But we will be eager and ready for the reward for when the time comes. My team
Absolutely.
is nothing but professionals.
Well, that's good to know. And the best part about this is once you get yourself in, the drop point that we'll have for the cheese, it's going to have a portal that'll be able to take you right back to the North Crossroads. Rare that we get an opportunity for a roundabout trip. So you'll just make the cheese on down south to the city, make your way there, make sure the cheese is delivered successfully, and then, skipping a jump, you're back in the North Crossroads. And then you get paid. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Haha! All right. Well, Shmeeli, I look forward to going ahead and bringing a little of this Wensleydale back with you, bud. Ha ha ha! Now you take care of yourself. And he goes ahead and fires you a pair of finger guns and whoosh, wings out up into the sky.
Right. Finger guns as he flies away.
You see that he goes ahead and pretends like he's gotten like his wing clipped, and he like kind of makes like a low dive sweep over you for a second, like, oh no, I've lost myself. But then he goes ahead and pulls himself out of the dive. He's like, haha, gotcha, and makes his way forward.
Nice.
All right. And with that, you find that evening has taken fully into account. The low glow of the aqueduct kind of fills the range of your vision, casting this soft emerald light over the surrounding environment. The lights of the safe passage are warm. The smell of food and chum denizen going ahead and cooking some more eggs and sausage attracts your nostrils. And with that, a day of adventuring is concluded. Anything you'd like to do to kind of bring it in for a night's rest?
Oh man. I'm just gonna. I think upon entering, I'm gonna give our little infernal friends maybe a little closer glance. If I could do one more roll on them just after my encounter with that little guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me let's see, what would that be here? Actually, you see as you're making eye contact with them, Thaddeus walks over and goes,
If you like, I can make you an introduction.
Please, if I may.
Oh, it's the least I could do here. Oi, Margaret!
and you see this ape like looks up over at Thaddeus, opens the mouth. It's sort of like this infernal hellscape. Like just jaw like unclenched. He goes,
Oi, Margaret! When are you gonna go ahead and make your way to the city? I thought your family was on vacation.
like hits the chest a couple of times. And Thaddeus looks over and goes,
She's waiting for her partner. Says that he's been a couple of days overdue to make his way there for the rest of the family.
Okay, so a missing partner. And I stand up at the top.
Yes, it's a sort of a strange thing. You know, you figure that infernal creatures wouldn't have the same difficulty getting around, but I guess they're just like us.
Can relate, yes. Well, thank you for the introductions. I may speak to them on another day.
indeed. And with that, I think that's where we can go ahead and call it. Shmeeli, how do you tuck yourself in tonight? You've got the room to the southeast available for you, ever so cozy. Southwest.
It's animal, force of habit. Just ask him again for another. Just what did I have in the morning? Some meat and eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Meat, eggs, and
Meat,
ale.
egg,
It's
meat,
all.
eggs, and ale, please.
You see Chum stick his head out from around the back.
All right, Shmeeli, one of them coming up for you in just a minute.
And goes ahead, short order cook. Uh, Comes back around. You want me to deliver it to your room?
Just I'd rather have it right here where I had it before. Just gonna stand over here and just sit down, just wait for it.
Yeah, and slowly but surely, as the day continues on into night, the rest of the group makes their way back from all of their individual adventures, and you all begin to plot the great cheese heist.
Like it.
Congratulations, dudes! Good sesh.
That's pretty cool, man. I love fucking I mean all the characters are pretty dope, but Galarath is fucking hilarious.
Ah, yes, the most honest of Garloths. I am such a warm and an amiable presence. You feel so safe and comfortable, and therefore give me all of your money.
Dude, he reminds me of like something off Futurama.
Ah, such words have been said before, but they are dishonest individuals. They wish to take things away that are not theirs. Garloth just wishes to enrich both you with products and him with gold.
He will have all my gold.
Yeah, thanks also for being down to like try the one-on-one. I know that it's like a very different style than like having the whole group. But you are so much fun to watch work as Shmeeli, dude. Like, I got a huge kick out of that.
It's funny playing one-on-one for sure, but yeah, no, dude, just like being in the world is just like fun in itself too. It's cool to just walk around and have these interactions.
Yeah, and they're all out there. And I can also safely say every interaction that you had, different than any of the other interactions that have taken place so far. There's been zero crossover so far on like everyone's individual story.
That's pretty cool. I like that. We're all just like doing our own little thing.
Yeah, it's nice. Get yourself a big day out. And you got some cool swag on there too. Like you've got some like neato little items you came up there. I've got this magic item table that I've been using for some of Garloth's stuff, and like when I came out with that, I was like, ooh, the speedy thing. This seems neato.
Dude, I got some awesome things. I have the ring, the shepherd's band. I got
Mhm.
D-Ray.
Yep, you
What
got utility. All kinds of situations. You got the rod too. Don't forget about that immovable rod. You
I
started
keep
with that
thinking
thing.
I keep thinking about ways to use it. And does it come back to me? Or do it like is it just like when I use it that's it?
It's like a push button on it. So you push it once and it locks into place, and you push it again and it removes itself. Like it goes loose again.
Oh, there you go. Handcuffs. I like it.
Yeah, well, there you go. But think how you'd have to find a way to attach the handcuffs to the rod, because it's basically just like a big rod,
Oh
right?
no, it would just be I would just attach the body to my body and it just like having a movable rod. I'd just have them like on my back, just like fucking flailing.
There you go. Well, keep in mind too, you're gonna be like, think of it almost like it gets like stuck in reality. So if you were to like hold it up and then like put like a tray on top of it, that tray would like balance on it perfectly, because it's like just floating there, and then you go click, and then everything falls to the ground.
I like it. I'm gonna do some magic with it then.
Oh yeah. Well, just start thinking about the cheese heist. You're the only one who's going to have the Euphrates interaction at the beginning of this to know like the score of like how that shakes out. So unless people like are watching this and like metagaming their way through it, um
That's like they're only gonna hear about the 2,500 reward. It's gonna be good.
Well, listen, if you go ahead and successfully persuade them that that's the way that it goes, I mean, it's up to them if they didn't watch it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'll
also,
just make.
I looked in chat and Tectonic mentioned don't forget your commemorative cups. So make sure that you add the commemorative cups back into your inventory. I'll be forgiving on that.
Oh, I'm gonna have them all go, and I think I'm gonna have if I can, have the guys have the cups set up so they can go and just pick their own flavor.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's basically like a magical 7-Eleven. So these are like little like beads of Slurpee for all intents and purposes.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Scrolls, we're great. Tipper doesn't sleep.
Dude, you had a little like fireworks show and all that. Hell, like perfect.
Oh, wizards are fun. The wizards are great, and that's why it's so entertaining that all these things are shaking out the way that they are. Well, thanks, dude. I hope you had fun with the sesh. You know, we'll try to figure out the best way to get the gang together here so that we can kick it off. But, thank you for, giving it the shot and letting me have some extra time to get to know Shmeeli better. He's a really fun character. I love what you've made with him.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's definitely been a good time, and yeah, we gotta get together sooner than later to smuggle this cheese.
Mm-hmm. Gotta make that cheddar. Terrible badness. I need more cheese jokes. I can't believe I was sitting there and like I'm running out of imagination right now, and I'm like I don't have any cheese puns besides the cheddar one. This is terrible. It'll be my DM
Well,
prep for next week.
I want that cheddar.
Oh, you gonna get that cheddar? You better. Better cheddar. Ah. All right, dude. I'm gonna take a little bit of a breather here. I know, like, there's probably all sorts of shenanigans, but Pat should be, like, hopping on a little later tonight, for his little run at it, and then, we'll keep going from there. So,
Sounds good to me. Yeah, we'll just I guess figure it out. We'll get it like